Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hey guys, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. With us today, she is a corporate leadership coach. Plus, oh my God, you are going to have so much fun with her, learn so much. And I am just amazed to have her criteria, or I mean, she's worldwide. Do you mind taking it away and tell us about your journey of becoming an entrepreneur?
Sure. It's an interesting journey. So I was doing corporate training and organizational change. I was an executive in a financial company. And actually, there was only one SVP that was a woman in the company. And I was going to be promoted. So at that time, right? And I got great performance reviews, outstanding. I was, had a bonus, all of that, right? I told my manager at the time that I was wanting to start a family. And then she told me later, she says, oh, there's another individual that started her family and she's having a challenging time with it. I thought, that's kind of strange. I mean, why is she telling me this, right? Well, a few weeks go by. She calls me into her office and says, we need to talk. I go, okay. I thought we were going to talk about a certain project. Then she goes on to say, you need to either quit or you'll be fired. What? I mean, that's what I said. I was like, what? What do you mean I need to quit or either be fired? And then she goes on to say something that, I wasn't performing to what the standards were. I mean, she was saying all this other stuff. I was livid. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? I ended up talking to the legal counsel, and eventually I did get a year severance with benefits. And after that, I was able to start my own family and have our son. So that's when I started my own business. I said, heck with this stuff. I'm doing my own thing. And I'm going to help other women that have gone through this whole process in terms of, being in an organization, being in a corporation and wanting to pivot or wanting to change their life and transform their life. So that is what I do. I help other women transform and pivot their lives.
Wow. So now see your book, Pivot You.
Yeah.
Oh my word, your whole story is about pivoting. So can you
Yes.
tell us about your book?
Yeah. So I take that from the book. So actually I wrote the book and got it published in 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020. The pandemic hit. And I was also at that time where I was doing a lot of contracts with companies, high tech and healthcare organizations. And when the pandemic hit, I said, okay, I can do this online. And they didn't want to do it online. Well, anyway, what I did is I ended up taking all my business, doing it online with coaching. And then I also wrote my book about how to pivot within organizations, how to pivot yourself. And so I talk a lot about how to pivot through mastering your mindset, overcoming obstacles, reframing your reality, loving life, having a vivid vision, and growth goals. So those are the 6 tips to pivoting in your life. And also I do a mastermind group where we actually talk about these things and give you tools and techniques in order to pivot.
That's amazing. That is totally amazing. So pivoting. So when people pivot, what is like an obstacle maybe they have to overcome internally?
I think a lot of it is people feel the sense of fear. They don't know what's out there because a sense of uncertainty. People like to have a sense of certainty of what's going to happen next. And when you're pivoting or when you're going through changes, you don't know a lot of times what's going to be next. But that's the beauty of it all, too. So I always say fear is what's called false evidence appearing real. A lot of times it's not really what's going on. It's just more what's going on in your mind of all the things that may happen, could happen, might happen, all that, the worry that happens.
I
So
have to use
I see
that.
that with a lot of my clients.
Yeah, I personally have had to use that false evidence appearing real continually. So
Yes.
I totally
Yeah. I'm
understand.
with you on that. Yeah, definitely. I hear you. And
Yeah.
I see that again with my clients all the time. It's just the level of fear that can overcome us that keeps us from doing what we want to do and keeps us from pivoting and making the changes in our life.
So from what you do and what you see, how you've had to pivot and how your clients and how you teach them how to pivot, let me ask you this. Going back in time, what would you wish your superpower would be if you could have a superpower to support either what you've been through or and what your clients go through?
Yeah, I think the biggest superpower I wish I had, or I know that I have, is really the sense of peace and calm throughout the challenges. I know that for myself, that many times when I'm faced with a challenge, I go to sometimes, I go to that fear part and I go through that worry and I'm like, wait a second, use the tools and techniques myself, right? So I think the biggest part is really having that sense of peace that things will work out, which they usually do. It'll be okay. Things will work out.
When one door closes, a window opens, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh,
Opportunities, right?
Always
And really
opportunity.
seeing too, I think the other part of this is seeing challenges as gifts or opportunities, which is a shift in perspective instead of thinking of like, oh my God, I've got this big problem. What am I going to do? And really seeing it. A lot of times have a hard time seeing it in the time that you're in it as a gift and an opportunity. When you look back on it, you can see it though as a gift or an opportunity.
Very good. So, and then with pivoting, I feel this next question is really, really important for our audience. How do you balance running your business? You went through pivoting, you had a child, and even with today and what goes on in your life today, how do you balance your family life with your business life?
I know that's a very good question. Sometimes I feel like I'm not.
That is
I
another census, just so you
y-
know, across the board for all entrepreneurs.
yeah, I think especially as women, because I think we have a lot of roles and responsibilities that we play in our life. I mean, I know that when my mom was going through, she had dementia. And so I was taking care of her at that time. This is going back 6 years ago. And that was very challenging because I was running my business, seeing clients, and then also taking care of her, making sure that she was taken care of. And I would make sure that I'd have support of other people. And so what I did is I hired people like caregivers to take care of her. I made sure that she got groceries shipped to her door so that, I didn't have to go there, for example, to get her groceries. I, did some hacks, if you will, some life hacks so that I would streamline my business and streamline my life and then also be able to support her and what she was going through. So I think that's the thing too, is just looking at what you can do in your life that you can do some hacks, if you will, to kind of simplify things. And then there are times too, like now, we've we've had some challenges. And so I've lessened the amount of time that I see clients, or I'm not taking on so many clients. And because I'm in business for myself, I can do that, which I love. I have the flexibility to be able to do that. So, but it is a balancing act. I don't know. I mean, it's a balancing act. It
I
really
know it's
is.
almost like we're on a seesaw as a child, and we're either having to devote so much time here or it's flipped over. I don't ever see where it goes like this. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't. I always say, I think the word is integration, right? Because I don't know if we can ever have that balance. I think it's really more how can you integrate family with work and entrepreneurship and all of that. Um, yeah. If you got the tip or the trick, let us know, right?
Let us know. Give us a hint what to do. Because it's always, I mean, we're just always maneuvering and that's it and pivoting. And I think we pivot. I love your I love the way you have your book there, Pivot You, because I think that's something we do on a day-to-day basis.
Definitely, definitely. I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, especially as entrepreneurs, right? Because there's always going to be something coming up. Every day there's something that happens and you have to pivot each and every day. And I think a lot of it is to our mindset, making sure we preserve how our thoughts and our emotions, I think are so important.
I love it. I love it. So, if there was a lesson you've learned in business through the years, what would you go back and tell your 18-year-old self?
That's a good one. I would say don't sweat the small things and really just don't get overwhelmed. Because I think when I was at that age, I would just get so overwhelmed, like, oh my God, what's the next year going to look like? And what am I going to do 5 years from now? And what about 10 years from now? And am I going to meet the person of my dreams? Am I going to, what about family? And, at that age, I was just consumed with all that stuff about the future, the future. And I would say, yeah, just don't sweat it. things things will work out. They work out. They work out the way they're supposed to.
It's all gonna be perfect. Just give it a break, take a deep breath, and watch the universe and God unfold everything to you,
Yeah,
basically.
I love that. I love it.
Mhm.
Watch the unfolding. Because I never knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. I mean, that was not what I was planning to do. I mean, when I went to college, I studied sociology. And then I went off to study acting. I thought I was going to be, I mean, which I am. I was a counselor. Therapist, became a therapist. And then I transitioned to doing corporate training, organizational change. And then I went up the executive ranks and then I started my own business. If you would have told me at 18, oh, you're going to have your own business, I've been like, what? I don't think so. Though when I look back, I had as a kid, I always had these businesses. Like I always had like this business mind. I'd have lemonade stands. I mean, I was the best, like I was in Girl Scouts, so I sold the most cookies. I won the award for that. I was always very sales oriented and entrepreneurial oriented. I remember like we would play with the other kids, on the block, and I'd always have this store. I was like the owner of the store and we're selling things. So I was always very much into like sales and entrepreneurial. So it does make sense when I look back on things and on my life. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting that way.
So I actually live in a retirement community. However,
Oh,
we
do
have
you?
5 children on our street.
Oh, wow.
And they try to sell it, and we live in a golf community. So they try
Uh-huh.
to sell us golf balls. My husband buys them all the time, even though he has probably millions of golf balls. And then they come sell us bugs. We donate to the bug factory. We just tell them bye. We don't need
That's
any more
great.
bugs. But the latest one was an $8 bottle of cherry juice, which was Kool-Aid
Oh God.
for $8.
Oh my gosh.
I loved it. My husband laughed. We told him we didn't drink cherry juice right now.
But you
So,
bought it anyway, right?
oh, we gave him
Supporting
money
them.
to support him.
Yeah, supporting the future entrepreneurs there. That's great. Yeah,
And
we
then,
live on a golf course too, where because our son was saying that too. Hey, I can sell the golf balls, in the backyard. I was like, yeah, go right ahead.
go for it. And they'll buy them. Trust us.
I know. They
Yeah.
will.
And we have another neighbor. He gets all the colored balls. He gets all the
Oh
colored,
yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
he does an Easter basket with colored
Oh.
balls, and he gives them all to all the golfers. Isn't that cute?
That's great.
So, so yeah.
I love it.
All right, we went off on a tangent, but yes, entrepreneurs start at such a young age, and I can literally see it.
Yeah, no, it's true. It really is. Like I said, I didn't really realize it until I looked back and I said, yeah, actually, I was very entrepreneurial, still am. But I, I could see that because I was always doing things that were selling things. Or I remember too, talking about kids and all that and entrepreneurship. I remember taking the flowers and the roses in our garden and going door to door and selling the flowers, like knocking on the doors and going, oh, you want to buy a bouquet of flowers? We'll sell them for you for $2.50, and they'd buy them. It was great.
Yeah, and so the parents on the street come up and go, "We're so sorry." And we're like, "Oh, we love it. They're business owners.
Yeah,
Love
true.
it." So yeah,
That's
so
true.
that's just what happens. So we all have that thing. So going back, so what is a fun fact besides that nobody knows about you, besides you were a savvy little business owner way back when? What's is there anything else that nobody knows about you?
Yeah, so I attended American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I studied acting, theater, music, movement back in the day. So when I was in my 20s, I graduated from college and did the whole New York thing. It was really fun. It was really great. And then also I became a street performer as a mime. Like, oh, yeah, I did. I actually worked at a restaurant. This is another story. I actually worked at this restaurant. This is interesting. So I come into the restaurant, they're hiring, it's called Fat Fannies, and they're hiring, waitresses, hostess, and all that. And I come dressed like to the nines. Here I am in like college or something. I come really dressed up. I mean, the other, people there, they were like wearing jeans, and all this. The owner of this place, he comes in the restaurant, he looks at me, he says, "Are you looking for a job? Are you here for the job?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he goes, "You're hired." Wow, I'm hired? He goes, "Yeah, if you dress like that, you're hired. You have great looking, professionalism and everything." I said, "Okay." So he hired me as a hostess. And this was a company or a restaurant where everyone came dressed up. They had costumes. So I'd come in my mime costume and then I would entertain the people that were coming to the restaurant. Right? Entertain the patrons. And I'd take them to their table and then I do some mime with them. I was annoying, but I entertain them.
I think
And
it's precious. I think it's precious. I love it.
he comes in the restaurant, he sees me entertaining them, and he says, "I thought you were the hostess." I said, I kind of tell him, to the aside, I'm like, "Yeah, I also do the entertaining." He goes, "I didn't know that." He goes, "Well, I'm going to hire you as the entertainer." And he upped my salary. He gave me $5 extra for it. And I'm like, "Okay, this is cool. Great." So I ended up entertaining in the restaurant. I was like, "This is perfect. This is great." So I always say that to people, especially young people that are starting out. Like you got to go for every opportunity and also know how you're dressed, right? Because that makes an impression. That makes a real big impression.
Yeah, and I find that is something that is pulled aside these days, and people don't dress in that manner to impress. They think they can go in tennis shoes to
Yeah,
an
that's true.
interview.
Especially where I live, which is in California. I mean, people come in their flip flops and Friday casual, but it's like Friday casual every day. So they come in ripped jeans and t-shirts and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So I love that. So thinking thought processes and how your brain works. We all love books. We're book nerds. Am I right? That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah, I've got yes. All the
What is
time.
one of
Always
your
ordering
favorite?
books from Amazon, Like, "Oh, what book are you have now?" Right? Yeah,
Yeah, what
definitely.
is your favorite book?
Well, I love a lot of what Tony Robbins has written, and I love his seminars, the Unleash the Power Within. To me, that was very pivotal in my life because a lot of it is about mindset and how you can shift your mindset. Depending upon your situation, you can shift what goes on internally, and you have control of what goes on internally. You may not have control of the outside world and all the situations, events of the outside. You can control your thoughts, your emotions, and what's going on in the inside. So I love his books, love his seminars.
Yeah, I love them too. They're always fabulous, so motivational, so
Yeah.
uplifting. And it gets your brain thinking like, okay, what's what's the next thing I can do? Or how can I unleash my power within me to make
Exactly.
what I need to do?
Uh-huh. Love it.
I
Love
love
it.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Your favorite song that gets you motivated, rocking and rolling.
I love Katy Perry. I love her music. I like Roar. I love that. And the Firecracker one, I love that. I don't know. I love rock and roll too. I mean, I could just listen to rock and roll and just dance and move and yeah,
Have
get
fun.
going. Let's go.
All right.
Woohoo. Got my
And
little fire sign.
you're so cute. What about your favorite quote?
So my favorite quote, I have a couple of favorite quotes. I mean, the one quote that I think of in terms of Wayne Dyer, when he said, you can't control what goes on the outside. You can control what goes on the inside. I love that quote because that is so true. Again, you can control your thoughts, your emotions, what's happening in your internal world. And then the other quote is, I have to read it again, but nothing is impossible. The word is I'm possible. And that's by Audrey Hepburn.
That's actually one of my favorite too. So I understand.
Yeah, yeah,
That's one of my favorite quotes. Yep.
yeah. I
So
have those quotes throughout my book. So those are my favorite quotes.
I love that. That is amazing. So how do you stay motivated besides books and quotes and songs?
Yeah, for me, I do a morning routine. So when I wake up in the morning, I do a priming technique. And this is from Tony Robbins, where you do some breathing, you do inhaling and exhaling. You do that, 10 times. You take a deep breath, inhaling, exhaling, and you do that 3 times. And then you focus on what you're grateful for and bring in that gratitude. And you think of situations and events that have happened in your life that you're truly grateful for. And you bring that gratitude into your body, into your existence. And then the next part of the process is focusing on what you want to accomplish, what your objective is, what you want to accomplish in the next 3, 6 months, a year from now, and see it as it's already done. It's already completed. It's already done. And I love this technique. I do this in the morning. You could do it 10 minutes in the morning. So I do this. I also have what's called positive intelligence. It's this mindfulness technique. It's a lot of breathing techniques. I find that breathing, and it sounds kind of funny to say breathing because we all breathe, right? It's the way that we breathe because many times we may be talking and we're talking right here in our throat area instead of deep breathing in our diaphragm area. And when we start to do the deep breathing, we actually become much more centered. So I do that. And then also prayer and meditation. So I really focus on, again, what I'm grateful for, because that transforms my day. It really does. And that's the tools and techniques I give to my clients as well. Many times when they say, I don't know what to do, or I have all so much, feel so overwhelmed, or I feel so worried, or I feel so stressed out. I give them these tools and techniques to use and start with a morning routine because that'll jumpstart your day. And that's what I do. I also find physical activity is amazing. Physical activity is like medicine, right? It's a natural, amazing thing that you can do that jumpstart your day, get your brain going, get your body moving. Do anything like that. Just, jump around in the room, jog in place, go for a brisk walk, anything like that, just to get up in the morning and wake up and get your body moving. So that's what I do.
What is your favorite exercise that you do in the mornings?
So my favorite exercise, I go for a walk. I love hiking. I love bike riding. So right now I just had hip replacement surgery. So yeah, I'm like 4 weeks out. And so I'm getting back into it. I just had physical therapy. So I'm getting back into going for my walks and everything. Previous to my hip replacement, I was doing that though. I was, an avid walker. I used to be an avid runner. I don't do that anymore. So I do all these outside activities, swimming, bike riding, all of that.
Wow,
Yeah.
something to get you moving. I can't. You look fabulous for just having hip replacement. You look
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, my PT said the same thing. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you're way above the curve there." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well that's good."
Well, that's who you are. You're just you're pivoting.
Yeah, pivoting. There you go.
Another pivot. What can we say?
Yeah, yeah, another pivot.
I love it. I love it. So, I know you have a giveaway for everybody. And what is your giveaway that you have for everybody?
So I have a 30-minute consultation that I'm providing to all your listeners and people watching the show is so they can talk with me, find out what your strategy is for your life, and we'll design a life strategy. And yeah, so it's pretty exciting. And you can contact me as well at Suzanne at Sibilla Coaching, which is SUZANNE at Sibilla, which is S as in Sam, B as in boy, ILLA at coaching.com.
And we'll put that in the links and everything for you, for them. But
Yeah.
the thing is with that is that a 30-minute call is really longer than the average call.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Many just give a 15-minute call if they do at
Right.
all. So yeah, 30 minutes is a long time.
That is a
Yeah.
long time. So,
Yeah.
what is the one thing that people come to you for in that 30-minute call that they talk to you about?
Yeah, many times clients come because they're feeling very overwhelmed. They're feeling very stressed out. They are trying to balance everything, as we had talked about earlier, right? Trying to balance their work, their career, their if they're a business owner, balancing that with their family. And so they're just feeling so overwhelmed. And so we look at all of that and go, okay, let's look at this and figure out a plan for your life. Figure out what the strategy is. What are some next steps that you can take to pivot your life forward, to move your life forward, take action? Because I think that's the number one thing is taking action builds momentum. And the more you start doing it, then it's like, okay, you start feeling better.
Yep. All right. Well, I love it. You know what? You have been a fabulous guest, a lot of fun. I loved having you. So I'm excited to see you in the magazine. You're going to have so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, this is great. I love being on the show. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
I also have a show too, if I can tell your viewer.
Yeah,
Yes, I have a show too.
definitely.
I have a show too. It's called Pivot Now. And we stream live every Tuesday. And it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time, at 1 o'clock Eastern time. It's on E360 TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Facebook Live. I'm naming all the social media channels, Instagram, YouTube. And we talk about pivoting. So I have entrepreneurs on our show that have pivoted in their life, and they'll give us all tips and techniques and tools on how to pivot. So
I
I'd love
love
to have
it.
you on our show too.
Oh yeah,
Have
we'll for sure would have a blast. And
yeah.
is there anything else besides your amazing show that you have that
Yes.
you deal with entrepreneurs and you talk to them and communicate with them about pivoting? Is there anything else you want to share with our audience?
Yes, I'll be doing a mastermind group coming up in in a couple of weeks. So I'm like getting that all going. And it's a group, and we'll be talking a lot about this pivoting, how to pivot through your life and your career or your business. And so I'll be doing that mastermind group. I'll be sending that out. So you can have the link as well to
That was
sign.
the question. Do we have the link yet, or it's
Yeah,
coming?
yeah. So we have the link, and we'll be sending that out to you as
Yeah.
well.
All right, awesome. So give us the link so we can put it in everything. We're excited. All right, again, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. Bye.
So great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.